Less, and we are live. What's good, everybody? It's your boy 3J. Thank God for another day. Hey, man. Today we reacting to the artist who made the industry blink first. And y'all know what that is. That's Prince. This is going up on my YouTube. So, yeah, if y'all want to stream into my live streams, just come every single night, bro. I'll be on. Let's get it.
Look at the cover of the album. Just look at it. Critics were much more positive about this album, and it had a more varied sound to it. Featuring the hits I Wanna Be Your Lover, which reached number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, Why You Wanna Treat Me So Bad, Still Waiting, and Sexy Dancer. The album ended up selling more than 3 million copies in the United States. On January 26, 1980, Prince got a lot of exposure for a performance on the popular show American Bandstand. He released his third album, Dirty Mind, on October 8th, 1980. This one became an instant classic and was quite a change in direction compared to his first two albums. For one thing, this one contained sexually explicit lyrics on it, and it freaked out conservatives across the country. It was also a revolutionary blend of all kinds of genres.
How you doing today, bro?
While his first two albums were mostly funk pop, Dirty Mind was a mix of funk, new wave, R&B, and something else that was entirely unique to Prince.
What the hell was Prince
the album
wearing?
wasn't as commercially successful as his self-titled album, but it was definitely much more critically acclaimed. It featured the singles Uptown, Dirty Mind, and Do It All Night. And look at that cover. Goodness gracious. On February 21st, 1981, Prince made his first appearance on Saturday Night Live, performing the song Party Up. Prince released his fourth album, The Self-Aware and Socially Conscious Controversy, on October 14th, 1981. His lyrics seemed to respond to much of what was happening in society, but was also a direct response to people who had criticized his hypersexuality. Critics again adored this album, although it wasn't praised quite as much as Dirty Mind. The album had 4 official singles: the title track, Sexuality, Let's Work, and Do Me Baby. Notably, this was the first album in which Prince stopped giving a crap about proper spelling of words. He toured heavily to promote the album. Also in 1981, Prince formed a side project band called The Time, which is still active to this day. On October 27th, 1982, Prince released his breakthrough double album, 1999. It was his first album to break the top 10 on the Billboard 200 charts, eventually selling over 4 million copies in the US. With this album, Prince was now a household name. The title track, 1999, a song actually protesting the buildup of nuclear weapons, today remains one of his most recognizable songs and his first top 10 hit in countries outside the United States. Many people would be saying they'd be partying like it was 1999 for several years afterwards due to the hit song. In fact, they even said it after 1999 had passed. Come to think of it, other singles on the album included Little Red Corvette, DMSR, Delirious, Let's Pretend We're Married, and Automatic. As Prince toured with his band, whom he called The Revolution, to promote 1999, his popularity grew and grew. He and Michael Jackson, both African Americans, were now seemingly competing to be the biggest pop stars in the world. So Prince was now a superstar, so why not star in a major motion picture? Why?
But we know who was better, though. You already know who was better. MJ.
Yes. On July
I want to see the comments in this video.
27th, 1984, Warner Brothers released Purple Rain, a film starring Prince that was loosely based on his life. The soundtrack to the film, Prince's 6th album, also called Purple Rain, was ultimately his most popular ever, eventually selling more than 13 million copies in the US and spending 24 straight weeks at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart. It featured the hits When Doves Cry, Let's Go Crazy, I Would Die For You, Take Me With You, and of course, Purple Rain. Also on the album was a song called Darling Nikki, which featured lyrics about masturbation. After Tipper Gore heard her 11-year-old daughter listening to the song, she was alarmed enough to create the Parents Music Resource Center, known later for their parental advisory explicit lyrics labels. Right before the release of his 7th album, Around the World in a Day, on April 22nd, 1985, Prince announced he would no longer be performing live or releasing music videos. Whoa. Prince barely promoted the album, which was much more experimental than Purple Rain, but it still managed to sell over 2 million copies and had 4 singles: Raspberry Beret, Paisley Park, Pop Life, and America.
So that album didn't do that well. Okay.
This one was the first album also released by his record label he founded called Paisley Park Records, named after his recording studio, Paisley Park Studios. Critics were mixed about the album's psychedelic sound. They were much more positive, about his eighth album.
When I first heard of Prince, right, I was like, man, who is this girly dude? So, at first I'm thinking like he's, gay or something. But then come to find out, Prince is not gay at all. He's straight. Don't know what. He just dressed like a female at times.
Parade, which was released on March 31st, 1986. And also...
Same thing with Michael Jackson. When I first heard of Michael Jackson, I thought Michael was too. Nah, he just really handsome dude. He loved females.
The soundtrack to the film Under the Cherry Moon. Prince, of course, was the star of that film, even directing it. The movie got horrible reviews. But back to the album. Oh my gosh, look at that cover. Look at it! This one had 4 singles: Kiss, Mountains, Another Lover, Hole in Your Head, which was probably one of the best song titles ever, and Girls and Boys. Oh, and by the way, Prince wrote songs for a bunch of others. The same year Parade came out, he wrote a song for the Bangles called Manic Monday, which ended up becoming a huge hit. Around the time, Prince had a bunch of stuff he was working on the side, and he had planned to release it as a triple album under the title Crystal Ball, but Warner Brothers forced him to trim it to a double album. That ended up becoming his 9th album, Sign of the Times, released on March 31st, 1987. Critics absolutely loved this album. In fact, this was probably his most critically acclaimed album ever. Prince went back on tour to promote the album, but only overseas. Warner Brothers filmed the last 2 nights of the tour and released a film out of the footage. In addition to the title track, Sign of the Times featured the singles If I Was Your Girlfriend, You Got the Look, and I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man. So Prince had planned a new album called The Black Album, a more experimental album that incorporated elements of hip-hop. Warner Brothers produced more than 500,000 copies of it. It had nothing but a monochromatic black cover and the catalog number printed on it. However, Prince all of a sudden realized the album was evil and had it recalled. He went back to the studio and in 7 weeks recorded what would become his...
Prince? What is this? I didn't get it. I just didn't.
10th studio album.
You would think I'm telling you, bro, you would think he's like gay, like based off the stuff that he was doing and like dressing and everything, but no.
Entitled Love Sexy, released on May 10th, 1988. Look at that cover. I mean, you can't not look at that cover. Prince, you knew how to do album covers. Just saying. Anyway, this one received more mixed reviews and was his least successful album since Controversy. This one had 3 singles: Alphabet Street, Lamb Slam, and I Wish You Heaven. Prince played 84 shows with his backing band to support Love Sexy. In 1989, he co-wrote songs with Madonna and worked on several side projects. Oh, and he recorded the freaking soundtrack to Tim Burton's Batman, released on June 20th, 1989, officially his 11th studio album. The soundtrack was a huge success after his previous album flopped. Prince did have to give up his publishing rights for the soundtrack, so that sucked for him. The Batman soundtrack had 5 singles: Bat Dance, Party Man, The Arms of Orion, Scandalous, and The Future. In 1990, Prince released his 4th film called Graffiti.
Also, this video too is going up on my YouTube, so after I get done with this video, I'm taking any requests. You know what I'm saying?
Bridge, a film he wrote, directed, and starred in. Graffiti Bridge, which was the sequel to Purple Rain, was the final film he starred in. The soundtrack, which he obviously also recorded, did much better than the film, featuring the singles Thieves in the Temple, Round and Round, and New Power Generation. Oh, and now Prince got some nice little labels added to his album covers. With lots of help from his new band, the New Power Generation, Prince recorded his
Michael Jackson looked like they could have been related.
Diamonds and Pearls, released on October 1st, 1991. The New Power Generation was probably his most talented band he'd ever put together, and Diamonds and Pearls was another smash hit for Prince. In addition to the title track, the album had the hit singles Get Off, Cream, Insatiable, and Money Don't Matter Tonight. On October 13th, 1992, Prince released his 14th album, but I can't pronounce it. Seriously, no one can. That's what the symbol looks looks like. Prince got it copyrighted under the title Love Symbol No. 2, and the album became known as the Love Symbol Album. For this album, Prince and Warner Brothers fought quite a bit about how to promote it. The album had the hits Sexy MF, I think you know what the MF stands for, My Name is Prince, 7, Damn You, and The Morning Papers. The album was both a critical and commercial hit. Warner Brothers released a 3-disc greatest hits compilation in 1993. This, of course, made Prince mad. Instead of this silly greatest hits album, Prince wanted to release an album of new material. There it is. I won't say the name of the album, but it was officially the first album by the new power generation, and Warner Brothers straight up refused to release it. So Prince sold it at some concerts and through his 1-800-NEW-FUNK telephone retail outlet. No joke. Not only that, but Prince had a bunch of other new material he recorded that Warner Brothers was not releasing quickly enough. So in rebellion to his label, he changes his name to the symbol no one can pronounce that I mentioned earlier. Because
I don't understand. Okay, Prince and Michael Jackson could have made a song together. You know, they was gonna be on Bad together, right? Prince didn't want to be on it because Michael said, you know, in the first part of the song, your butt is mine. I get it, but dude, you over here dressing like a whole female at times, even trying to look like one.
Radio DJs around the world couldn't pronounce it. They began to refer to him as the artist formerly known as Prince, or simply The Artist. Beginning in 1994, The Artist began to release as many albums as possible to get out of his contractual obligations to his record label, Warner Brothers, whom he now despised. He also began appearing at shows with the word slave written on his face as a way to protest his feeling like a slave to those contractual obligations. On August 16th, 1994, he released his 15th album, Come, which still referred to him as Prince in the album art. In addition to the title track, it had the singles Let It Go and Space. The album was kind of a flop.
Okay, it showed the year that he was born in 1993. That's kind of weird.
The album was evil, so he didn't release it? Well, Warner Brothers released it on November 22nd, 1994, even though tens of thousands of bootlegged copies were already all over the place. On September 26th, 1995, The Artist reluctantly released The Gold Experience, his 17th album. Critics overwhelmingly loved this album, and it had 3 singles: The Most Beautiful Girl in the World, which the artist apparently wrote about my wife, I Hate You, and Gold. The album is currently out of print. Don't believe me? Well, here's how much it costs to buy it on Amazon currently. 1996 was an extremely productive year for The Artist. He recorded the soundtrack to the Spike Lee film Girl 6. On July 9th, 1996, he released Chaos and Disorder, his 18th album and last album of new material for Warner Brothers. He did not promote the album at all. The artist, formerly known as Prince, was free, and he promptly released a 36-song, 3-CD album called Emancipation on his own label called NPG Records, the NPG standing for New Power Generation. His 19th album, released on November 19th, 1996, Emancipation was the first album to feature Prince doing covers of other artists. It featured the singles Betcha by Golly Wow and The Holy River, Somebody's Somebody. Emancipation was a concept album that was part celebration of his breakup with Warner Brothers and part celebration of his marriage to longtime girlfriend and former backup singer and dancer Maite Garcia earlier that year. The celebration was overshadowed by the fact that Prince and Maite had lost their baby at just 6 days old, just a month before the album's release. Around this time, likely due to the traumatic nature surrounding the horrible death of his young son, Prince had started to become interested in the Jehovah's Witnesses. By 2001, he apparently became a full-on Jehovah's Witness, going to church every Sunday morning and even knocking on strangers' doors. The whole bit. A little over a year after the release of Emancipation, Prince and Maite lost their second child due to miscarriage, and this eventually caused the two to grow even more distant. They divorced in 2000. On January 29th, 1998, the artist released his 20th and 21st albums together as a box set. The 20th being Crystal Ball, a 3-disc set of, quote, previously bootlegged stuff, and the 21st being an acoustic collection called The Truth. There was also another bonus album of instrumental stuff from the NPG Orchestra. Okay, that album cover is lame. Come on now, Prince, you're better than that. On August 24th, 1999, Warner Brothers released The Vault, Old Friends for Sale, old recordings the artist had left behind before he parted ways with the label. It featured the single Extraordinary. Meanwhile, the artist surprisingly signed with another major record label, Arista, and released his 23rd album with them called Rave Unto the Joy Fantastic. Also surprisingly, the artist actually promoted the heck out of this album, determined to make it a success. He let more media outlets interview him more than at any point in his entire career, even appearing on the teeny bopper Total Request Live. He also had a pay-per-view special to promote the album. The album received mixed reviews and did so-so commercially with just one hit single, The Greatest Romance Ever Sold. On May 16th, 2000, Prince announced he had become Prince again, abandoning the love symbol moniker. In 2001, he remarried to Manuela Testolini. On November 20th of that same year, he released his 24th album, The Rainbow Children. The album definitely alluded to Prince's conversion to Jehovah's Witnesses, but also explored other religious concepts. It was a big flop that kind of bewildered many of his longtime fans. On May 14th, 2002, he released his 25th album, One Night Alone, also releasing his first ever live album,
Well,
One
just
Night
by
Alone.
that, bro, you can
Live.
tell that he's just a
2002
lover
was a
of
year
music.
in which Prince was more
All these
invited to the
albums.
public, opening up his studios to tours and meeting many of his fans. He had a couple new albums in 2003, Expectation, released only to members of the NPG Music Club on New Year's Day, and NEWS, released on May 26th. With these albums, it was as if Prince was trying to be obscure. NEWS, which featured 4 tracks, each 14 minutes long, is still the lowest selling Prince album to date. However, Prince returned to the national spotlight in 2004, performing a medley at the Grammys and becoming inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. After his induction, he played in a George Harrison tribute performance with Tom Petty, Steve Winwood, and Jeff Lynne, in which he delivered one of the most amazing guitar solos ever. Columbia Records helped him release his 28th album, Musicology, on April 20th, 2004. Musicology became his most successful album since Diamonds and Pearls, receiving positive reviews and providing the singles Call My Name,
almost
Cinnamon
30
Girl,
albums.
and the title track. The North American tour to support the album, which Prince said was to, quote, bring back music and live musicianship, was one of the most commercially successful tours of all time. And guess what? 2 more albums in 2004, The Chocolate Invasion and The Slaughterhouse, both released on March 29th. On March 21st, 2006, Universal Music helped Prince release his 31st album, 3121. Get it? His 31st released on the 21st? Actually, some say it's a reference to Prince's address in LA. Others say it's a reference to Bible verse Psalm 31:21. Regardless, the album was another success, having 4 singles: Te Amo, Corazon, Beautiful, Love and Blessed, Black Sweat, and Fury. Surprisingly, 3121 became the first Prince album to ever debut at number 1. He returned to Saturday Night Live to promote it, his first performance on the show in 17 years and 25 years after
Prince was
his
a
first
workaholic.
appearance on the show in 1981.
Michael Jackson
Later
been
that year,
quit after
Prince
that.
opened
He
a
didn't even make no
nightclub
other
in
albums
Las
for real.
Vegas called 3121. In 2006, Prince also split with his second wife, Manuela Testolini. A highlight of Prince's career came on February 2nd, 2007.
Super
He
Bowl.
performed at the Super Bowl 41 halftime show, and it was epic. 140 million people witnessed it, and many argue it was the greatest Super Bowl performance of all time. Prince kept up with his one-album deals with major record labels. Columbia helped him release his 32nd album, Planet Earth, on July 15th, 2007. Finally, a return to great album covers. Look at it. I love it. Critics mostly praised Planet Earth, but it didn't do nearly as well as 3121. The album had the hits Future Baby Mama, Guitar, and Somewhere Here on Earth. On March 29th, 2009, Prince released his 33rd and 34th albums, Lotus Flower and NPL Sound, together, as well as Elixir, the debut album from Bria Valente, who Prince had been mentoring. The triple album set did fairly well commercially, but to mixed reviews. His 35th album, 2010,
Look at the
came in
art.
2010, of course, on July 10th. Instead of going to the big radio stations to debut songs off of it, he went to his hometown community station station, the Minneapolis-based 89.3 The Current. On December 7th of that year, the Recording Academy inducted Prince into the Grammy Hall of Fame. In late 2011, Prince finally discovered the power of the internet, releasing stuff on iTunes and Spotify for the first time. Prince never slowed down writing, recording, and touring.
You, bro, him and Michael could have been like related.
In what was called his Hit and Run Part 1 tour, he played last-second shows, only announcing the day of the show. People could only predict where the show would be by keeping a close eye on his Twitter account. On September 26, 2014, he released 2 new albums. His 36th album, Plectrum Electrum, one of the best album titles ever, and his 37th album, Artificial Age. Wait, both released with Warner Brothers? You serious, buddy? Warner Brothers, apparently, yes, reunited with his old enemy. Both albums were heavily promoted, but relatively not that successful. The biggest hit on Plectrum Electrum was Fix Your Life Up, whereas Artificial Age had more singles like Breakfast Can Wait, Breakdown, and Clouds. Prince released his 38th album, Hit and Run Phase 1, on September 15, 2015,
and then the next year he passed away.
39th album, Hit and Run Phase 2, released exclusively for streaming and purchase on the website Tidal on December 15th. In early 2016, he went on tour to promote the new music, where he performed at many smaller venues and played stripped-down shows. Just him and a piano. The tour was going amazingly well, but Prince fell sick in April, postponing shows and releasing a statement that he had influenza. Even though he wasn't feeling well, he performed a show in Atlanta on April 14th. It would be his final show. He flew back to Minneapolis, but his plane made an emergency landing at Moline, Illinois, where he was hospitalized after becoming unresponsive. After he recovered, he returned home and seemed to be getting better, making several appearances around town and saying he felt fine. However, on April 21st, 2016, police found Prince again unresponsive at Paisley Park. He died that day at the age of just 57. Medical examiners later ruled his death caused by an accidental overdose from the drug fentanyl. Fans across the world held vigils and tributes in his honor. Paisley Park became a sort of shrine and is now a
I was in Montgomery, Alabama, right, when Prince died. I was living in Alabama. When I tell you, when you go to the city in Montgomery, I forgot what that bank is. I think it's called Regions Bank. Regions Bank building. When you passing through the city on the interstate, it was lit up purple that day when Prince died. It was just like a lot of places, a lot of special places in the U.S. and were lit up purple. Rest in peace to Prince, man.
Major tourist attraction. Some report Prince left so much unreleased music that he could have released a new album every year for the next century. He was also in the process of writing a memoir before his death.
Cause they always seem to let you down, and I get discouraged.
Prince continues to greatly impact the world. As you
hold on, bro. Well,
before his death.
Not him looking like the dude from freaking Coming to America and singing like the guy, the Soul Glow guy.
We seem to let you down, and I get discouraged.
Prince continues to greatly.
I'm sorry, bro. That's no, sir. That's Queen. That's not Prince.
Impact the world. As you watch this,
not to be confused with the band Queen.
Around the world are currently listening to a Prince song. He won 8 Grammy Awards, 6 American Music Awards, a Golden Globe Award, and even an Oscar for Purple Rain. To date, Prince has sold over 100 million records worldwide, around half of those in the United States alone. Today, tsort.info, the most comprehensive collection of popular music data around, ranks Prince as the 21st most successful musical act of all time. And while the world continues to miss him, he has left so much behind for all of us to continue to enjoy.
Rest in peace.
What is your
Prince,
favorite
man.
Prince song? What is your favorite Prince album? Who should I do a history of next?
I hope y'all enjoyed that video. That was pretty good. Man, Prince is a legend. I didn't even know he released 40 albums. Like, golly, he was a workaholic, man. But hey, shout out to that legend. Rest in peace to him again. But next video, I'm probably gonna react to the Beatles. So that's, you know, something that y'all like too in the UK. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed that video. Peace. All right, y'all. Now we got the YouTube video out the way. Let's get straight to the business. Any requests, bro. I'm taking any, and they gotta be appropriate. We ain't on that weird stuff. Yeah, this stream is nothing but positive vibes only. All we doing, man. I'm trying to get people, you know, we trying to vibe out and not, you know, doing that weird stuff, bro. You said look at Alabama spring practice bet. Check it out real quick. Then if there's no video request, I got a video that we can watch that I've been wanting to watch. The day 5. Good spring practice 2026. All right, bet. This one for you, Young C. Huge sports fan. You know what's crazy too? I don't know if you know. I think you probably do know, but yeah, I attended University of Alabama only for one semester though, and this was back in 2019. And I tell you some of the best moments of my life, bro. Hopefully you get, you know, if you ever, you know, you go to college, you get accepted to UA. Campus is beautiful. It's fun. Diversity, or it's very diverse. Roll Tide, bro. But oh yeah, oh you didn't even hear what I said. Damn, you had left. Did you hear what I said about UA? Pro football drills. I want to see the quarterback in action. Wise. Who's that man is a dummy? No, they know. Oh, what I was saying was, I said I attended UA for a semester back in 2019, and the campus is fire, bro. I love it. I seen the practice field. I've been to whatchamacallit, you know, the Bryant Denny Stadium or the Saban Field at Bryant Denny Stadium. Been to the Strip right up past the stadium. Man, that one semester I went to UA was just some of the best moments of my life, bro. Campus is amazing. So if you ever go to college, well, I know you're going to college because you're trying to play sports. You ever get accepted to UA, bro, you gonna have a good time for sure. I even been in the locker room, the Alabama locker room, the football locker room, amazing. Felt like a fucking 5-star hotel up in there. But the guest locker room though is trash. That shit look like it was built in like 1955, and they ain't changed one thing yet. Oh yeah, so. Oh, they go Mac, Elon. I really hope Keelan he stay, you know, cause his time gonna come. Got Ty Simpson still on the team. Yep. What that number 11 is? I'm truly excited, bro. I'm like really, really excited for Keelan, bro. No, that's Jet Tide going to. Oh yeah. That's right. So right. I'm ready for the season already, bro. Lie to you. But bro, let me show y'all this, man. I seen this on Instagram earlier, right? Deontay Wilder said some of the weirdest stuff on Piers Morgan, whatever that was. Hold on. Trying to get a short one. He was talking about some pregnancy or something. Somebody probably got it in there.
You're in a very good mood and you want to kill me. So let's get that out of the way. I'm not actually fighting you, so.
No, I don't want to kill. I was having sex. You know, when I came, I used to come on her stomach. You know, I used to fold my top.
Bifida.
All right, hold on, bro.
Which is obviously a very serious condition. What impact does that have on your life and your feelings as a father?
It had a strong impact on my life because I chose to keep her. Her mother didn't. You know, her mother tried to set me up, you know, to have the baby. You know, she ejected my sperm in her and ran in the bathroom and locked the door, and that's how we had her.
Really?
Yeah. You know, truth be
damn.
told, she don't even know I know this.
Wow.
But I'm telling it to the world.
How do you know that?
I'm smart. You know, when we was having sex, you know, when I came, I used to come on her stomach. You know, I used to fold my towel nicely by the bed because I would want to wipe it off of her stomach. This particular time, she chose that she wanted to have a baby by me because I was the best thing that ever came into her life. Most of her relationships only last for 2 months or whatever because she was a promiscuous woman. I didn't know it at the time. I only found out this thing by reading her journal. She didn't know that I read her journal either. You know, so during that time,
don't say her name, bro.
I did what I do. I had a good nut, and I nutted on her stomach. This time, I went and got the towel and tried to wipe it off, but she hit my hand so hard, I thought she hit my hand like a home run, like a baseball player do a baseball.
Hold on, Deontay, bro. You can't be giving too much detail like that, homie. What the fuck? And you know Deontay Wilder from Tuscaloosa, right? But like he just told so much we didn't have to know.
Back. But she screamed, "No!" as if she was being raped. She got up so quickly and ran into the bathroom and locked the door. 2 weeks later, you know, she liked to go clubbing and drinking with her girls and stuff. Like, okay, cool. But this particular moment in time, she knew she was pregnant.
Damn, Deontay, you need some motherfucking chapstick. Holy shit. Damn, lick your lips.
So she was pregnant with my daughter.
Oh, mine
but she
ain't
didn't do all the right things to, you know, take her prenatal vitamins and things, the nutrients and the minerals that needed for my daughter to stay healthy. You know, she just was worrying about this child having my child, but my child ended up with spina bifida. So going into the doctor's office, we had an opportunity to terminate the pregnancy, but it's just something in my heart. I just felt like she deserved to live. I wanted to take up on this opportunity of taking care of a girl that was born with spina bifida, a child that's in need. She needed me as I needed her. Her mother had no remorse, had no feelings about it, because she didn't even think I was gonna make the decision that I made. We were still in college. So she probably thought that I was gonna terminate the pregnancy so she can attempt to trap me again. You understand me? So when I dedicated myself to having my child, that was it, you know, that was my whole life. That was everything, you know. So from that point, I knew.
Look, Deontay, you didn't have to say all of that. Like talking about some coming on the stomach or when I nutted, blah, blah. Nigga, you could have just said, me and this girl, we was dating. She didn't want the baby. I did. And that's what I did. I kept her because I didn't want to kill the baby. You know, we had the opportunity to get rid of him. No, some of my heart. You could have just said that. You didn't have to tell everybody your fucking business in the fucking bedroom, bro. That's only for you to know.
I didn't go to school to be a professional athlete or anything like that. I had to dedicate everything to my daughter. I knew that school wasn't the option for me to be a professional, but I was in the school of hard knocks. I never looked for trouble, but trouble always came my way. So I've always had to handle myself streetwise, no matter what. You know, there's so many stories about me that I forgot that it even happened. People have to remind me sometime, and I don't even remember. That's how many wars I've been in since a boy. So when I hear about certain things, I keep my mouth closed.
Deontay, I just hope, nigga, that you at least get a dub, because ever since Tyson Fury knocked your ass out silly twice, it just ain't been the same for you, my brother. I want to see you succeed, you know, because you being from Alabama, but I don't know. I just don't know.
Because sometimes I have a fade memory of certain things. I've done so much. I'd have been in so many fights. I don't even want to bring it up. Sometimes it give you PTSD. That's why I say when I come from how I was raised and stuff, like, although I was raised in a good family, but that don't mean, you know, that the devil is not here to intervene upon your father's prayers, upon your mother's prayers or your grandma's prayers, because the devil is listening too. And he's going to come in and disturb as well. So I had many people to try to come and try to harm me.
Where does your daughter live now?
She lived with me.
And has done ever since?
Oh, most definitely. And her life has been better ever since coming.
And do you have any contact with the mother? Or?
Never. I blocked her. I don't want contact. Why?
Does your daughter,
a deadbeat.
does your daughter ever see?
I have three deadbeat mothers on my hand, you know. I had a vision I would have all my children, and God is so beautiful. He's so great. You understand me? I don't go and bash the mothers, though. I don't go and do that. I don't use my platform or certain things to say this and say that. I let life does what it gonna do. You know what I mean?
Yo, hold on, hold on, Deontay. You gotta reword that, homie. You said I let life does what it do. I think you meant the other. I let life do what it.
I'm a beautiful father. You understand me? I love my children to death. When you have a father's love in the household, the success rate is through the roof.
That's
through
facts,
the sky. You know, I've been through all that where they didn't want me to see my kids, where I had to take the milk and the Pampers and knock on it's there and try to make me a deadbeat, but that wasn't in me. I can't be, you know what I mean? I love my children too much to let them living in this world without a father. I've been through all that. Yeah. So I always promote fathers, take care of your children no matter what.
When you hear Derek talking about a dream of walking his daughters down the aisle, do you think that will ever be possible with your daughter?
Oh, most definitely. Doctor said she would never be able to walk or never have a natural childhood ability or learning. But if God has something for you, then it ain't nothing that nobody can say. No, he is the doctor in the sick room. He is the best friend.
I think I heard enough though from Deontay.
He is all things.
Oh, so I forgot we was watching these yesterday. Chief Keef and
O Block,
Dirk,
including Von, who would often keep tweeting at Keef without a response. According to later rumors, the real breaking point between O Block and Keef came when an O Block member known as Trey 5 was locked up, and once again, Keef's money was allegedly expected to cover the bail. However, as 600 member Tay Capone would later explain, Keef allegedly kept promising to send the money, but never followed through. And eventually, the O Block members grew so frustrated that they decided to teach him a lesson.
They came to him about bonding out 5. They came to him about bonding out one of the guys, and Sosa was like, you know, he not spinning them, but he just telling them like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? We gon', you know, Trey 5 was a nigga from O Block. He was fighting a charge. He had bond. I think his bond was like 10K, 7,500 or something they was trying to get from Sosa. And Sosa had been, I guess, to them, spinning them about the, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever bond money or whatever they was gonna do for 5, they wanted from Sosa. They felt like Sosa was spinning them. So they felt like they gave him enough time to act on what the situation or whatever, and then once they felt like he was just gonna keep spinning them or lying to them, they felt like they had enough time, where they felt like they had enough aggression built up from the situation to just act, you know.
Sometime during the late night and early morning following Boss Top's ominous tweets, there would be a shooting at Chief Keef's manager's house, which would leave one person injured.
So Chief Keef got mixed up in a shooting near Chicago, and his Instagram account does not help.
My boy, nigga, you need to just cut that motherfucking goatee off. Your face is way too damn round to have this on your face. Like a nut sack on your face with hair.
Help him at all.
That does not
Hey,
look
this is
right,
Gary.
bro.
So, Chief Keef got caught up in a shooting near his home.
Like he ain't got no chin. You might as well just cut that off, man, and just let your face breathe.
in Chicago. Now, we're told by Chief's people that he was not the shooter. He definitely was not the victim. He wasn't involved. They're just saying that he was present at the time, but the police out there are issuing a press release in relation to Chief being there during the shooting. We do know that one victim has been taken to the hospital right now. There has been no arrest made or anything, but Chief Keef is not doing the best job social media-wise for his innocence in anything, because 2 days before the shooting, this is on Monday, he Instagrams all these photos of himself holding up guns. It looks like he's got some sort of an Uzi. His buddy's holding an AK-47. He got a little stash of guns and money. The caption read, "Another situation already." So it looks like he was like, you know, getting ready for war, even though as of now he's not a suspect or listed in anything.
It's crazy that TMZ, they got their whole office just to stalk people, just to get some news. I get it. It's money. Like, damn, nigga, this is what y'all live for, is focusing on other people.
Local WGN News reported that Keef had been present during the incident but was not the shooter. The outlet also aired exclusive footage from inside the police station that showed Chief Keef being questioned by officers, while a reporter would specify that according to Keef's lawyer, Keef had been in the car that drove the shooting victim to a hospital, implying that it had been one of his friends.
Crime scene tape still surrounds the palatial home where the shooting took place, and a police forensic truck sits out front. But no sign of Chief Keef since WGN shot this exclusive video of the rapper being questioned inside the Northfield police station last night. At one point, it even appeared as though he was being frisked by an officer.
It was inevitable, we felt, because of the nature of things going on.
Andy and Mary Lindblad live next door to the home that was being rented by Chief Keef's manager. The Lindblads say they heard a lot of commotion coming from the home as late as 10 or 11 o'clock the night before.
It's a lot of door slamming and, you know, the lights moving around the parking.
If you're gonna be in a nice neighborhood, right,
and that,
you got to know how to have some respect and manners, especially for your neighbors, bro. They don't play that. They come from a peaceful neighborhood. They ain't used to all that loud shit that be going on in the hood.
Northfield police say someone was shot in the home in the 800 block of North Hap Road and was driven to Skokie Hospital. Keef's lawyer tells the Chicago Tribune he was a passenger in that vehicle, but she says she doesn't know the circumstances surrounding the shooting.
Later on, police reports posted on Reddit would give more clarity to what happened, with one memo describing how there'd been an internal conflict within the Black Disciples, namely the O Block set. This memo also included pictures of 3 persons of interest: Tyree Davis, aka Boss Top, DeMarcus Sargent, and Charles Liggins, aka C Murder, who would years later be one of the people convicted for the murder.
Oh, by the way, y'all, man, tomorrow night, well, it depends, and especially Friday, because I'm off of work Friday. I'm definitely gonna be streaming longer than about an hour. I'm probably gonna do about 2 to 3, maybe even 4. Oh, I got someone watching. Maybe even 4 hours, because, you know, I ain't got nothing to do and I'll be well rested. But damn, bro, this week's just been hard, man. This week has been very, very tough for your boy. I've been fucking working my ass off, but I'm just so ready to get this work day over tomorrow, stream for y'all, and then get some rest. Then come back Friday.
GD rapper FBG Duck. Other incident reports would give even more information, stating that in the late night of the 25th of March, an unknown number of offenders entered the house with guns drawn and took at least a cell phone, a gold chain, and a car before fleeing the scene. These reports would also mention how there was a victim who was actively talking to the police and giving them information, while everyone else was seemingly not interested in cooperating at all. This person likely being Chief Keef's then assistant, called Twin City CEO, real name Brandon Zera, who Keef would actually attack on Twitter afterwards, calling him soft, with Keef's friend Lil Reese agreeing. Keef would also immediately deny any rumors that he had gotten shot personally during the incident. But meanwhile, during the night of the robbery, King Von remained very active on Twitter, firing off a series of posts that in hindsight may well have been a coded confession. He would tweet that every day they front and then act like they didn't front, asking how they expect him to deal with them, and another mysterious tweet saying simply, "Where were you?" As he kept posting, it would become increasingly obvious what he was talking about, with demon and gunshot emojis posted soon after, as Von would state how people don't want beef with his friends because they're savages who have real bodies on their guns, and swearing that on O. As well as saying how he had a feeling that Trey 5 was now coming home, followed by a bunch of demon emojis, before also shockingly adding that he had been GBEK or GB OBE killer, implying that he wanted to or had been trying to kill people from the Glory Boys for a while. Boss Top would also add how people weren't really your friends, seemingly referring to Keith's unwillingness to help with Trey 5's bail money. And the following day, he would continue the dissing, calling out fake rappers pretending to be real and claiming they're not really about that, and emphasizing how in his friendship circle, everyone knew their role and nobody was trying to act bigger than the others. Chief Keef, on the other hand, would reply how people forget the times when you said yes, but will always remember when you said no, and that all he had done was help people, but in return, all he got was hate, showing that deep down Keef was clearly hurt that he had been betrayed by his childhood friends.
Left, bro.
But Keef may not have realized just how far some of his childhood...
He left Chicago and left them niggas behind because he seen that how they was acting. Now look at Chief Keef. He out in LA living his life, still rich, still getting a bunch of money, and he away from the streets. While his homeboys, all his old homeboys from O Block and stuff, most of them about dead. Dirk is in jail right now. So he did the smart thing, and he did the best thing, and that was to get away from the Chicago street. Because if he would have stayed, we all know where Chief Keef would have ended up. Somebody from the outside would have spanked him off the map.
Friends were willing to go to hurt him because the very next month,
he's
one of
very
his family
smart.
members
Whoever
would be
got
killed.
in
And if the
Chief
rumors are
Keef's
true,
ear,
this murder would
they told him
eventually
to
be linked to
move.
some of O Block's most feared
Kudos to
shooters,
them, like-
two of Chief Keef's former friends, King Von and T. Roy.
I feel you. How did your week go, bro?
In 2014, a person affiliated with Chief Keef's Glow Gang crew would begin to get some major push for his career, this being Chief Keef's cousin, known as Blood Money or Big Glow, real name Mario Hess. In March 2014, Blood Money would get an important boost for his career as he featured on Keef's comeback single F Rehab, which he would release after literally completing a court-ordered rehab in California. After this, Blood Money reportedly signed a major deal in Los Angeles, likely as an artist under Chief Keef's Glow Gang imprint, which operated under Interscope, and following the signing, he returned to Chicago to spend some well-earned time with his family. But then, on the 9th of April 2014, at around 9:30 p.m, Blood Money was outside with his cousin on the 5600 block of South Elizabeth Street on the west side of Chicago, when someone would open fire on them, injuring the cousin and killing Blood Money. The killing was covered by DJ Academics in his War in Chirac series, presented in the provocative style that made him infamous in Chicago.
His manager said his signing bonus was $50,000, which he spent on his family, bills, and a car. And his manager claimed that he could see this coming. He said, I spoke to him 2 days ago and I could sense something wasn't right. Whenever you get money in Chicago, start looking.
Yeah, that jealousy, that's why.
Don't have money and are broke, and Blood Money was flashing 10 grand and other niggas are looking to stick him up. Well, duh, if you are in Chicago of all places and you're flashing money around a broke bunch of yes, they will try to rob you.
They're going to try to rob you.
At this point, I'm wondering who's writing the script for Chicago's version of The Wire. I mean, it's getting all too real. I mean, who's Omar that's taking all these damn bodies? Who's Marlo and who is Avon? You look like everybody's either shooters or muscles. Nobody moving weight. Everybody's either a Weebay or Chris or a Snoop or a Slim Charles. Everybody's just doing goon.
Bro, that's been my question
Later on,
too.
there will
Like,
be all kinds of...
You know how all these niggas was killing each other in the street, right, in Chicago? How was they even making money? If they was not working and no jobs because it was too dangerous, how else were they making money? I know they was probably selling drugs, like a few of them, but not all of them can sell drugs.
Of theories about exactly who was behind this murder. One of the popular suspects was a set known as MOB, known for rappers like FBG Duck's good friend Ruger. This theory seemed to be supported by the fact that after Blood Money's death, Chief Keef would record a song titled Can't Wait, where he would rep the Front Street set heavily before dissing MOB and their dead member named Junebug. This is noteworthy because while Keef would popularize the trend in drill of dissing dead ops, often by mentioning things like Smoking Tuka, the dead 15-year-old from the STL EBT set, Chief Keef would actually quite rarely diss dead people by name other than Tuka, indicating that there was clearly something about MOB at this point in time that had really set him off. However, another theory that circulated would claim that Blood Money had actually been backdoored by a longtime friend, supposedly over an argument about money, a version of events that came up in comments his family made to local news outlets about jealousy being behind the murder.
This morning, police are still looking for the suspect who opened fire on Mario Hess, also known in the hip-hop community as Blood Money. His family says he just received a pretty large sum of money, and they believe that made him a target. Around 9:30 last night, relatives say Mario Hess was standing outside
in Chicago or in the hood in general, like everywhere, they be being some of the most stupidest people, bro. You sign a deal and then you go and start flexing. You know you got ops. Why flex? You just to make them hate you even more? All they're gonna do is get jealous, try to rob you or kill you, and then steal your money.
his aunt's home on the 5600 block of South Elizabeth when a man approached and opened fire, hitting Hess at least 10 times in the stomach. Another man, a 28-year-old family member, was shot in the chest. No word on his condition this morning. Hess was driven by his family to Stroger Hospital, where he was pronounced dead.
I was telling him just a couple of days ago, like, man, you got to watch the people that you bring in. Because I started seeing, like, new faces and stuff like that, you know. And when people think you got a little money, then you become a target.
Well, according to his manager, Hess he just signed a record deal by Interscope Records about 2 weeks ago, and he was excited about releasing an album. He collaborated with his cousin, rapper Chief Keef, on some project and was about to drive to a recording studio to work on some music before he was shot.
However, early on, there were also some signs that Blood Money's death could be connected to Chief Keef's beef with his old friends from O-Block. Because while Boss Top would seemingly provide an indirect tribute to Blood Money following his passing, there would also interestingly be a party at O-Block the very next night following the murder, which guys like King Von would promote on Twitter, with one O-Block affiliate interestingly specifying how this was about the real O-Block, much like Boss Top had mentioned before when beefing with Chief Keef. King Von would also make some other highly suspect tweets in the following days, like one simply saying how the truth gonna hurt you, and another saying how people wouldn't even believe the things that he does, so he's not gonna tell them. He would also post his old mugshot together with a caption saying how they should have never let him out because they had freed a menace, as well as referencing Dirk's OTF crew, saying how it was only the family in his eyes,
Appreciate
and people can't provide them, which certainly seemed like another sneak diss towards Keef. During this period, Boss Top would also publicly praise Von as a savage and turn up, adding the hashtag StretchGang, which was another alias for O-Block, although it also doubled as street slang for stretching your ops or killing them. Chief Keef, on the other hand, would pay tribute to his cousin by starting a new name for his crew, the Blood Gang.
What's up, man? Welcome to the stream, bro. I can't keep up. It's actually moving slow to me.
Which would eventually be adopted by members of Front Street, the hood that Blood Money was from, who would also begin to call their set the Blood Gang too. Keef would also interestingly tweet, "We are Front Street," before adding, "and Real 300, this being an obvious diss towards Lil Durk.
Bro, like I was saying in the video, or like I was saying earlier before y'all joined in the chat, bro, Chief Keef is smart, like, for getting up out of there early. You see the outcome of all the other Chicago guys, right? A lot of them are dead. Durk is in jail, but Chief Keef is out there still living his life.
Cameron set that had been the inventors of the 300 nickname. He would also throw shade at his old friends from O-Block by tweeting how he'd been trying to show his friends how to live and become rich, but his friends were just too jealous and in their feelings to learn from him. Meanwhile, King Von would keep making some suspicious tweets, which seemed to be subliminal messages straight to Chief Keef, or Sosa as he's also known by. The most ominous tweet including Blood Money's lyrics from his song F Rehab with Keef, a move that many interpreted as a subliminal diss aimed at Chief Keef and Blood Money. Particularly as Von would openly recognize that he was now beefing with Flow Gang, replying laughing emojis to people claiming that GBE would hurt him. And this wouldn't be the only time that Von appeared to post subliminal shots, because only a week later, he would tweet how fame changes people, but real ones stay the same, adding that he could never switch on his guys. He then added RIP Big Glow, aka Blood Money, a tribute that in this context stood out as less likely to be sincere and yet another veiled diss. But if that wasn't questionable enough, a few days later, Von would shout out Boss Top, the person who had arguably started the beef between Chief Keef and O-Block, before literally saying in the hashtag how he was killing people for him. All these tweets were clearly suspicious and seemed to point towards O-Block and King Von personally having something to do with Blood Money's murder. But the real bombshell would come years later, when the former O-Block member J Hood would claim during an interview with Fuchsia's TV that King Von and T-Roy were without a doubt the people responsible for killing Blood Money. He would also interestingly describe them as
I thought you talked about something else, bro. On my mom's, I forgot. Yeah.
Was implying that the hit may have been carried out on someone else's order, a suggestion
no,
that
I wouldn't say that, Hattie. I wouldn't say that, bro. Give me some time. I'm still trying to get used to the streaming scene. Trying to, you know,
to the front. Yeah. I mean, with his situation, with him being killed and shit,
I'm glad y'all in here though, for real though.
Why you think people was hating on Blood Money?
Man, look, see, I'm gonna keep it straight funky. That shit was straight back though. You don't gotta believe it. You can hear whatever. Oh, these people saw this. I don't give a fuck what y'all heard. I ain't out here seeing talking about my ass like these dude, bro. Folks them killed T-Roy and Von killed that. No matter what the fuck else. And look, I might be saying it in a harsh way, but I'm no way in no form of fashion trying to be disrespectful to Blood. Rest in peace to Big Gang. Was backdooring. That's why I'm speaking out on this. I don't want nothing.
Hey, rest in peace to Granny, man. My grandma died too. But nah, you over here, you talking about you pointing at my grandma because she dead. Oh my. You know you wrong as hell for that, my nigga.
They know that it's been some going on for years now.
T-Roy
I appreciate it, bro.
Chief Keef was cool. Why would T-Roy kill Chief Keef cousin though?
We can't even get to all the main logistics of it, but we just gonna say
bazooka. Yeah, I think about it every time I hit the. You heard that song before?
T-Roy and Vaughn was who they was, but that don't mean that them listen to people. Like if the followers, that's all it ever be. They was followers. T-Roy and Vaughn was followers. Who they follow? Y'all, I don't know. Y'all answer that yourself.
J Hood is definitely someone who was at least in a position to know information like this.
Yeah, that's
as he
true.
used to be with King Von and T-Roy all the time back when this murder happened.
But that was
But in
Von's
online
fault.
spaces like
He
Reddit,
got
this
himself in
claim
that
has split
position,
people
though,
in the
bro.
middle,
Rest in peace,
with some
King
convinced
Von,
that they
but
were
hey.
indeed behind the hit, while others are absolutely convinced that this is nothing
He
more
should have
than just
never
a
punched that
conspiracy
nigga Quando
theory,
Rondo
pointing out
in
how
the
Blood Money's own
face.
family have claimed that his killer was already dead back in 2015. But even if the real killer may forever remain unknown, the feud between Chief Keef, O-Block, and Lil Durk's OTF continued to escalate online even after Chief Keef would make the smartest decision of his life and move away from Chicago.
Appreciate it.
One of the key figures in the beef remained King Von, who continued his conflicted messages by blending what seemed to be moments of admiration for Chief Keef along with outright disses. For example, he would often post lyrics to Chief Keef's songs, making
I'm just coming off of a cold too, so that's, even though, you know, I'm still gonna do me, I'm still gonna sing, but once my voice get back right, you'll hear some more.
Seemed like he was an actual fan of the music, while at the same time posting explicit disses, like pointing out that Boss Top had taken Keef's chain, while a member named OJ from Lil Durk's Lamron set had allegedly taken a chain from Keef's Glow Gang associate Capo, and saying that now Von was also going to take a chain from someone
I'm gonna make sure every time I see y'all
a few hours later, Von was back on Twitter, this time saying that even though things weren't right, he still wasn't going to speak badly.
Bro, I really appreciate all y'all for coming up in your stream. Y'all don't know how much it means to me. Every time we get in the stream, bro, we're gonna have nothing but positive vibes only. If y'all have something y'all want to talk about, bro, any problems in life, just anything, man, you got 3J here to help. I'm always willing to help somebody. I love talking to people, man.
About Keef, a comment that seemed to reference their long-standing childhood friendship. But with Von, it was impossible to know how much of what he said was meant sincerely and what was just trolling. A few days later, on the 10th of June, news media would report how Keef had been evicted from his Highland Park mansion in the northern suburbs of Chicago over unpaid rent. This brought an end to his time in Chicago, as he would ultimately decide to leave the city behind for good, relocating to Los Angeles, where TMZ would actually catch him to ask him about the recent eviction. Something that Keef would give a prophetic answer to, saying that one day he was going to behave like a grown-up and stop being bad.
They say you owe like $11,000 in rent.
I don't know what they talking about.
your landlord.
I don't know if I owe or not.
What's that? You don't keep track like
$11,000.
I don't give a
Oh, you don't care. Like so why'd they evict you, bro? Like why?
They say they don't want me around. They don't want me in the neighborhood, man. I'm too bad. I guess I'm a bad little young boy. I gotta grow.
You're a bad influence. Like what was? Did you have a
one
fight?
One day it's gonna be okay. One day I'm gonna be a grown man.
You are a grown man.
I'm a grown man, but one day I'm gonna be growner than this, and I ain't gonna be bad no more. I'm gonna be a bad little.
Meanwhile, members of Lil Durk's Lamron set would send a message to Keef that if he ever came back to Chicago, he would get robbed again.
We catch keep it going. And ball out, we rob y'all. Y'all better not come back. You can't tell them. Y'all talking about ain't got no problem. I want they change. Well, they change, fake.
But while Chief Keef was now out of Chicago and harm's way, he would keep engaging in beef with his old friends from O-Block, as well as with Lil Durk, who would let his stance be known in his June 2014 song 0 to 300, where Durk rapped how he had heard.
I'll watch this another time, but somebody want to keep any video requests. Oh, I pray for you, bro. You said you know me. Appreciate it. And then said, bro, I want to marry a girl, but my parents are not agreeing. Why are they not agreeing? What's going on? There got to be something. It's something they see in her that you don't. If they don't want you to marry her. What was I watching? Oh, Rip Mac got a 20v1? Hold on, bro.
Okay.
What? You do?
This man grew some freaking hair.
What can you do in life?
Show me something. Impress me.
Bam! Chucky, see? She gotta go to the right, cuz. Let her in that don't crash.
You should pick me, because if you don't, I'm gonna beat all these b****s. Have you been told you should be on TV?
I mean, if I can make TV, I can make...
So your parents are racist and they're full on red. Girls, my... Hey, man. You can't let your parents decide for you. You can't let your parents, you know, you can't let them decide anything. You got to go with what you love, bro. And if your parents can accept it, bro, if you love your parents, they, you know, if they love you, they're going to have to accept it. But if they don't want to accept it and they want to control your life, sometimes the best thing to do, bro, is you gotta cut your parents off for a little bit. Because that's not right for them to do that. It can't stop you from loving somebody.
I can't make TV because...
You know what I'm saying?
YouTube, man, what is good? It's your boy Ron with the Sauce Man here with another freaking video. So I do this every time.
Oh, appreciate it, bro. W Stream.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even think you've been out 4 days. You know what I'm saying? I got a special guest here with me today. Pull up, man.
Oh, 5-5 clear. Hey, man. Cuz doing all fair business. Yo, Mac in, he gonna get your done. There's no scam. There's no customer. Y'all Mac in with cuz. On hood.
On hood.
So when you say Mac in, that's like subscribe. Like,
yeah, on hood. Mac in, on hood.
Yeah, so before we get started, man, I just want to say welcome home.
I appreciate it, hood.
Welcome home. But
This
today,
man's the most cripped out dude ever. I wonder if there's anybody that's like a blood version of Crip Mac. Blood Mac or something. I don't know. It sounds weird, I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know.
Okay, you heard what he said, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I can already hear him in the comments. I can see him in the comments right now saying, get him and Blue together, get him and Blue together. How many likes to make that happen? Because I think we already making that happen, correct?
Bro, the host is high as shit. Look at his eyes.
Okay, bet. Let's get 10,000 likes first day. And we're releasing it. You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah. But also, too, you just came home, right?
You get what I'm saying.
I see the interviews and everything. I see you working. But it's one way I want to show you how you can make money from this.
Oh, yeah. Well,
they always doing this in the streets.
Well,
I mean, not in the streets.
I want you to go to the App Store. This is literally the app. Download it out right now. Let's do it.
Get to the action.
Federal prison. I know some people from D.C.
Oh, okay.
Like Nut from D.C. You probably know Nut.
No.
He's a nut cat.
No, I don't know.
He's a psychopath from D.C. Out the federal prison. Yeah.
You look like an auntie. She's about 43.
Stay away from the jail, guys.
Oh, why?
Why not?
Why not? I mean, jail. I mean, love fire.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
It makes the life go better.
I mean, I would be a good pen pal.
A pen pal.
For
Who
you.
would y'all rate her based off the looks?
Commentary, some soups, some coffee.
Oh yeah, I got you that. Commissary, I got you the commissary for sure.
Commissary is great. We gotta have commissary.
You had somebody holding you down for commissary?
I had, you know, I'm a 50 fisherman from Old General. So, the little snaps, King Five Fingers, Blue Devil, push the Rick Rock from 5-5, Big Nutso, Big Whack Wiz, Little Lowdown. They all made sure I was all right. Then I had non-affiliates with different people, like my CM Juicy Dream now, my cleaning lady. Well, Lupe's not a non-affiliate. She's from 4-6 before these.
Bro, where the hell he bought his clothes from?
Oh, Wack told us how to make some
jail
food.
Wearing some clothes from 2005.
He did. He did teach us how to make the jail food.
Yeah. Did you like it?
He got the truck till it's simple, though.
What was that called?
A swole?
What's it called?
And they call it swole or something like that?
Yeah.
A spread.
Spread, I don't
Whack
know.
100.
He told us how to make a spread.
Shout out
It
Whack
was
100,
good.
teaching y'all how I survive if you ever end up in jail. Shout out Whack 100, cuz. On hood.
On hood.
So what you doing? You keeping her or she gotta go?
She cool, cuz. Go fight a left, like my rat gang.
I said go 5.
Yeah, but that means good.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's good, this
Don't
game.
gang him up, cuz the left side's the best
All right, so
side.
chat, I don't want y'all confused. Left side is good this game.
Left side's the best side.
This is the first, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta recognize who.
All right, let me
He
get my next
got that
lady.
natural Crip stance.
Beautiful. Who are you?
Hi, my name is Daylin. I'm 26.
What's your name?
Daylin.
Daylin.
Daylin, yeah. Or you can call me Day.
Day. On
Day.
hood.
Yeah.
Like a daytime.
Daytime, every day.
All
yeah.
right. On hood.
Mm-hmm.
Where you from?
I'm from Florida, but I was a military baby, so I...
Florida.
Yeah, I grew
Oh,
up
this
everywhere.
is all right. Go Florida. Florida's cool. Shout out Florida.
Yeah. You ever been?
Huh?
You ever been to Florida?
I've never been there. I'm gonna go sooner or later.
Sooner or later. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta bring Blue Devil with me. That's a little HK Destruction. That's my young homeboy. That's my King Five Fingers voice.
Why he gotta come with you?
That's my loc. I need to get up out of his house. He's going crazy in there. He's my psychopath. That's my monster.
Yeah.
Oh.
Time for me to get ready to go to sleep, because I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm actually pretty tired. Like I said, bro, on tomorrow, I'll probably do like a 2-hour stream. But Friday, most definitely, we're gonna go for 3 hours, because I'm off on Friday and I'm trying to turn the fuck up on stream, bro. I'm trying to, get a lot of people up in here, and we just have a good time, bro. And we just vibe out, chill, watch any videos, that I'm interested in, y'all interested in, play any games, just something. Just something we can vibe out to and just have a good time, man. Like I said, I'm trying to make the world happier one day at a time, man. And that's my main goal. So if y'all enjoyed this stream, bro, like, follow, subscribe, do all that. Turn on notifications, all that. We gonna be lit this year. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. It was short, but we're gonna make it longer.